Mexico has officially decided that the key to ending violence
is charging people 8% more for pretending to commit it digitally.
That's right, gamers and gamerettes. The Chamber of Deputies approved a violent video game tax because when the country is battling cartels, corruption, and a homicide rate that looks like a cheat code for chaos, clearly Call of Duty is the main suspect. Somewhere in the far beyond, a congressman just watched a teenager teabag an NPC and thought,
This is why society is collapsing.
they've wrapped this thing into something called the 2026 Economic Package, which also taxes things like sugary drinks, tobacco, and gambling. Because apparently, shooting virtual zombies and drinking cola are equally dangerous to public health. The tax is supposed to help
Fund recovery programs for psychological effects caused by gaming.
You know, guys, those Dark Souls veterans suffering from PTSD after dying to the same boss 300 freaking times. So, while half the country deals with real shootouts, the government's busy speed running bad freaking decisions, and if this passes the Senate, gamers will officially be paying a sin tax.
Not for committing crimes, but for pressing X to reload.
Let's take a small dive into this stupidity and figure out what the heck the Mexican government is doing. Now guys, let's take a second to appreciate just how galaxy brain this move is. Mexico is facing a homicide rate that still hovers around 25 per 100,000 residents, with some cities passing 100 per 100,000, and the government looked at the chart and said,
Yep, this looks like a job for Minecraft.
This is honestly stupid. It's like trying to stop climate change by banning freaking SimCity. You've got drug cartels with literal armies, real bullets flying, politicians running side quests in corruption. But somehow Call of Duty is the bad influence. For freaking decades, governments have treated video games like digital voodoo dolls, as if every time someone reloads in Battlefield, a real person gets punched. Mexico apparently just joined that ancient tradition of do something, anything, as long as it's not the hard thing. Because, well, let's be honest guys, tackling organized crime takes effort. Blaming Fortnite takes a freaking headline. The irony, guys, the actual violent criminals don't even need to buy games. They're living the freaking DLC. And hey, it's not like the gaming community is cheering this stuff on. Gamers are the most pacifist people alive.
Outside of Reddit arguments.
I mean, come on, they get angrier at lag spikes than freaking politics. But now, with an 8% tax looming over every violent title, Mexico's saying that virtual violence deserves financial punishment. Meanwhile, actual violence gets press conferences and sympathy speeches. It's like, fining Mario for jumping too aggressively. If violence in video games causes real violence, then half of Gen Z should be professional freaking assassins by now.
Spoiler alert, they can't even parallel park.
Guys, you have to admire the creativity. The Chamber of Deputies just bundled digital homicide with tobacco, gambling, and sugar, as if playing Mortal Kombat gives you freaking beaties. And get this, gamers and gamerettes, they're calling it a health tax, which is just government speak for
we need more money, but we want to sound moral about it.
The idea behind it is that tax will raise funds for people supposedly suffering psychological effects from gaming. You know, the victims of lag, broken matchmaking, and Bethesda bugs.
Truly tragic.
This 8% levy is stacked on top of Mexico's existing 16% VAT, meaning gamers could be paying 24 freaking percent tax on titles rated C or D, basically anything remotely fun. Imagine buying a zombie shooter and realizing you just paid more tax than a cigarette smoker. It's not just a tax, it's a punishment for having a freaking hobby. And because the draft is written with the clarity of a freaking drunk patch note, no one knows how far it will go. DLCs maybe, subscriptions, digital copies, the law's about as precise as an Overwatch hitbox. So, if you buy a violent game and its expansion, you're essentially funding both the health ministry and a politician's vacation home. And guys, this is the part where satire writes itself. If violence is, like they call it, so unhealthy, what's the treatment? Less gaming but more government? Because if you really think about it, that's not curing anything. That's replacing your flu with a freaking lawsuit. The real violence here is against gamers' freaking wallets. And now for the best part. The scientific justification. According to the Treasury Department,
recent studies have found a relationship between violent video games and higher aggression among adolescents.
Sounds legit until you realize no one can find those freaking studies anywhere. They didn't cite them, quote them, or even hint at what they were. They might as well have said, a wizard told us. If you actually read the real research like Oxford's 2019 study or the American Psychological Association's 2020 review, you'd see that the Violent games cause aggression myth has been debunked harder than the flat earth freaking theory. Most freaking studies show no causal link whatsoever. At best, violent games might make you annoyed for 5 minutes, mostly at your freaking teammates. That's not criminal behavior, that's Tuesday night. And yet, over and over again, politicians keep resurrecting this myth like it's freaking Resident Evil because nothing's more convenient than blaming invisible data for visible problems. It sounds intellectual, it sounds protective, and it gives voters the illusion that something's being done. Who needs criminal reform when you can just tax GTA and call it a day? Guys, I'm about to say something and I really need you to focus on it. If their logic actually held up, Animal Crossing should have created an entire generation of peaceful farmers by now. Instead, the same people who play it are rage-quitting Mario Kart and swearing vengeance
On a turtle.
Come on, Mexico. Humans don't mimic games, they project onto them. The violence was already there.
The game just has better graphics.
Now, let's try to be semi-fair here before the government hires an assassin to silence gamers. Yes, constant exposure to graphic content can desensitize younger audience. It's a valid concern in moderation, but this tax doesn't solve that. It just monetizes it. Instead of protecting kids, it's charging adults for existing. It's like putting a price tag on bad parenting. If Mexico really wanted to help, it could push for better age verification systems, digital literacy programs, or awareness campaigns for parents. But no, none of that comes with the sweet satisfaction of collecting 8% extra cash. It's easier to moralize entertainment
Than fix reality.
I'm not going to deny there is a world where this law could have made sense, one with clear intent, educational outreach, and research-backed justification. But instead, it reads like a group project written 5 minutes before the deadline.
Full of ideas. None of them good.
Still, let's try and give them half a point for effort. It's not every day you see a government tackle mental health, even if it's through a method that sounds like satire. But taxing Call of Duty for public wellness is like taxing horror movies to cure insomnia.
A for ambition, F for freaking execution.
In the end, gamers and gamerettes, Mexico's violent video game tax isn't about safety, it's about optics. It's a side quest the government gave itself to look busy while the main story burns. And it's not even freaking new, it's the same recycled panic that's been around since the first kid punched a CRT after losing in Street Fighter freaking 2. Violence in media doesn't create violence in reality, incompetence does. And if anything, games are one of the few outlets preventing people from acting on real anger. Because let's be honest guys, society would be a lot worse without people blowing off steam by rocket launching a demon or two. So yeah, go ahead Mexico, tax digital headshots. It won't change a freaking damn thing because the real final boss isn't on your console.
It's sitting in parliament pressing A to pass nonsense.
Gamers and gamerettes, what do you think? Is Mexico actually onto something here, or is this just the latest example of government's rage quitting logic? Drop your thoughts down below and stay tuned for the next breakdown.
Before they tax that too.
And guys, thank you once again for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content in the future. Take care and I'll see you in the next one.